all you true believers out there, it's comic book day. Let's see what I got. First up is AquaMan number 50. There was a couple titles in the New 52 universe that weren't canceled right away. AquaMan was one of them, including Detective Comics, Superman, and Wonder Woman. There's nothing really too special about this comic book except for the milestone of reaching issue number 50, but it does solidify the fact that AquaMan is a badass. He's not as weak as people characterized him years ago. In today's age, he is much more powerful, and he can pretty much stand up to all the top leaguers out there. Transformers More Than Meets the Eye, issue number 51. If you're unaware, in the IDW universe, Megatron, who was evil, is now a good guy, and he's part of the Autobots, who's trying to reform his ways somewhat. He's with a band of other Autobots who are in space that are led by Rodimus Prime. But that does not mean that the Decepticon cause is gone. In fact, they run into a group of Decepticons that's led by a very powerful member. And there was a mutiny among the Autobots that left them stranded there. The Decepticon that's attacking them, his name is Tarn, and he's a former pupil of Megatron. It leaves off on a really big cliffhanger, and I am pretty much convinced that Megatron is attempting to be a good guy in this. For now, Captain America number 7. This is a huge issue. Huge in the sense that something really big happens in it. This is part of the whole standoff storyline that's going on through most of the Marvel titles. Director Maria Hill from S.H.I.E.L.D. obtained some fragments of a cosmic cube. She attempted to reform reality in her favor, but whenever reality is manipulated, everything just goes to hell. All of the supervillains captured by S.H.I.E.L.D. were reformatted in some ways and put into a small town. And you know that just doesn't go right. But the big deal about this issue is what happens at the very, very end. I don't want to spoil it, although many people out there already know about it, but still, this is a huge event. You could either like this or you don't like it. It could go either way, but I am curious as to how it's going to be played out in the future storyline with Captain America, or at least who's going to be holding the title of Captain America. Daredevil number 5. This is the conclusion to the first story arc for Daredevil's renumbering. There's a new crime lord by the name of Ten Fingers who stole some artifacts from the Hand, and the Hand wants it back. Daredevil's in a complicated situation because he's trying to stop Ten Fingers, but at the same time, he doesn't want all of his people to be killed by the Hand. Also worth noting, Daredevil has somewhat of a sidekick by the name of Blind Spot, who they haven't been completely honest with each other about their secrets and what's going on, but still it is cool to see that Daredevil's working with another person. Fight Club 2 number 10. I don't know how to really describe this comic book. At first I was really impressed with it, but then it went downhill when they broke the fourth wall, and now I'm not really quite sure how this ending really incorporates everything that happened up to this point. But this is it. This is the end of this series, and I'll just leave it at that. Maybe it's supposed to be this way, maybe they had another ending in mind. I'm not really sure. This is the original author of the Fight Club book. It's an ending, and we'll just leave it at that. Hercules number 6. This is the conclusion to the first story arc in Hercules' new series. There are supposedly new gods that are trying to come in and get rid of the old Greek gods from Earth. This culminates with a big battle with Hercules taking on one of these gods. We get some battling, some dialogue, but I think the end result is really cool, especially being that Hercules has his own group of people that he can rely on now. Darth Vader number 18. Darth Vader is definitely the anti-hero in the Star Wars comic book universe. You root for him, but at the same time you know he's evil. There's a civil war happening on a planet called Shu-Torun. Darth Vader's trying to stop that. He's betrayed during this conflict, but he's Darth Vader. You know he has some plan of attack, even if he's being betrayed. Finally, I got Back to the Future number 6. Finally, in the IDW universe, they're exploring what happened after part 3 in the movies. Apparently, Marty McFly isn't so happy about going back to his high school life and living an ordinary life. This takes place approximately 6 months after the third movie, and Marty receives a letter from Clara, very similar to the way he received a letter from Doc Brown in part 2. Turns out the Doc is missing. So this is going to start up an adventure that I'm really happy about. I'm glad they're finally going past everything that we already know. That's my comic load for this week. What did you guys get? Leave comments down below. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me in this video. Be sure to check out my Patreon site, my website, my social media sites, and everything else out there. Peace, love, namaste, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.